I had a dream last night. I don't usually remember my dreams. This one was interesting. I wrote it down as soon as I woke up, and then later I thought it would be interesting to see if the artificial intelligence could turn it into a video. It did a pretty good job. The only mistake is when it mentions a keyboard. In the dream, it was a musical keyboard.
So it's August 4th, 2025. I just woke up and I had been dreaming. It was a good dream, but kind of unusual, like dreams usually are. I was walking around outside. It might have been in the road in front of the apartments, but I also seemed to be out near a canal or maybe a river, and I'm just walking around. Then suddenly, I seem to be in a chair. Not a wheelchair, but like the chair has wheels, sort of like an office chair, and I'm moving around in the chair. Eventually there's a black man coming toward me. He seems to know me and, acknowledges me. There's a black man in my neighborhood who walks often. In fact, there are a couple. But this man is not either of them. He doesn't seem to be upset or happy, just, neutral. He acknowledges me and I do something with my fingers instead of snapping them. It's sort of like a reverse snap. And I just keep rolling past, kind of to acknowledge him back, and he nods and keeps walking. And then, as I'm rolling in the chair, with my feet pushing above me on another hill, just 5 or 10 feet tall, higher than the road I'm on, I see a trash pile, like the ones we have in my neighborhood. There's a keyboard and a stand, it's wood, and I thought, it might be interesting to see if it works. I find a way to roll the chair up the little hill, and as I do, there's a train track that seems to be on that level, and I start to worry that I'm going to get the chair caught on the track. Then I see a train coming. It's not close, I'm not too worried, but it's coming. I move toward where the trash is, and it's not exactly on the track, so I don't have to worry, and the train comes, and all I have on are a pair of underwear. I think it's blue or black, it could be some short pants, but I think it's underwear, and I'm embarrassed with no shirt or pants on. And as the train passes, I see right here some people yelling at me, acknowledging me, and I look over, and there are 2 people. At first I thought it was a ship, it was the train. And the people seem very large, taller than the train, and the train was moving but extremely slow, as if it stopped. It was starting again, but at the same time I felt it was moving like it had been all the time. And the people were very tall, taller than the train, like giants, and it was a man and a woman, and they had a duster on that people would wear in the westerns, and their hair was bleached white, it was long and curly. They were in their late 20s or 30s, maybe even early 40s, but they were very attractive, although I just saw their faces. I just got the sense that they were attractive. But they seemed to be very confident, and they were on the side of the train, it was moving, and the dusters were long down to their feet, and it was gold and silver and blue, and I realized. So at first I thought they were just hobos riding the train, and then I noticed the dusters they were wearing. I figured, well, maybe they worked on the train, maybe it was some kind of uniform or something, but then I realized they were with some Western show because there were these big signs on the train. And on the back of the last car, the train was curved, almost like the stern of a ship, real high and large, and emblazoned on the side of the train were these advertisements for a Western show, almost like the kind of thing you'd see on a Broadway sign. And there were other people now, and they started calling out to me. It was sort of like cat calls, like you do when you were riding and saw somebody on the road or sidewalk, and you just yell out to them. They were catcalling kind of like a construction worker would with a woman that was attractive, and I was thinking to myself, well, they're pretty far away and don't really see me, because if they did, they wouldn't be catcalling me. So, I looked down at the trash pile and tried to ignore them, and I was embarrassed to be in my underwear. Then I got out of the chair, and my feet and legs just sank down into the sand until they couldn't see me, not having any clothes on. I pretended to look at the trash pile like I wasn't even listening to them, because I was a little embarrassed. They weren't being mean or anything, they were just in high spirits, and they were on this train that looked like a giant ship, and there were even horses on the train. It was like a rodeo or a western show just traveling past me, full of people dressed real colorfully, very attractive, interesting people. I looked at the keyboard, and it did look like it worked. And then, well, I woke up. I'm trying to figure out what the dream meant. The people were happy, they were having a good time, and they were just passing me by. Their lives were colorful and happy and interesting, and I was stuck in a chair with wheels. The most interesting thing in my life was piles of trash with musical instruments that didn't even play outside of my underwear, in a neighborhood that didn't really feel like it belonged to me or connected with me, but I didn't feel sad exactly. I was kind of taking advantage of what I had, but I knew, there was a lot more to be had.